Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm kicking it by myself today, but you know what? Maybe that's a good thing because I think we're going to knock through this information pretty quick, get everybody pumped up and excited for what's coming. And if you didn't see last week's live stream, please take the time to check it out. It's packed full of information, and while we're going to be setting up white papers and websites and everything else with all of this information documented, and we're going to make the process of onboarding so freaking simple, you can get grandma and have her come on board with us. So that's the goal. We have been poring over information, articulating everything, setting up our roadmaps, knocking out the DAP. We basically, the shell and the logistics and the mechanics of the DAP are pretty close to being ready. And we've started the process of writing contracts. All of these things are in motion, and we're just excited to finally be where we're at today. Today kicks off our 90 days to base. So 90 days to based Axion. I get that right. And just over the last couple of days, as we've been fine-tuning information, really kind of compiling things down and breaking it down into its most finite kind of definitions and everything else, we came up with Axion DAO is your gateway to DeFi, and that's what we intend to be. We want to be a gateway to DeFi, a safe haven, a place where you can come learn, where you can come explore, where you can come engage, hook up with people, build a community, participate in our investment clubs. Gosh, we got so much more coming up. I'm going to go ahead and just go through this presentation. Just knock it out. Maybe we'll be done in 30 minutes. That would actually be kind of cool. I can go get some sleep. I only slept for about 3 hours last night as I was prepping all this stuff. But you know what? I'm finally pumped up. I mean, I've been pumped up for quite a long time, but it is finally getting exciting. So it's really good to be here. Good to hang out with you guys. And if you're watching this after the case, just hop into Discord. Send me a DM or something with any questions, and we'll get you up to speed. But I do want to emphasize, we are busting our asses to get documentation and information as precise and clean and full-bodied as we humanly possibly can. So, yeah. All right. Let's break down. Let's get into this. So Axion DAO, your gateway to DeFi. We're building the future through the Axion DAO, and we're doing DeFi better together. All right. So here we go. So last week we talked about the migration process. Today kicks off our 90-day countdown. We also talked about our claiming process. There's going to be two options for stakes. You'll be able to have your stakes combined into master stakes. And one thing, I'm going to clarify this, but everything we do will be associated or represented with an NFT. Everything, including your stakes from day one. You know how we had Galaxy stakes in the past? Well, now, anytime you create a stake or anytime you go into the accelerator, you will automatically be minted an NFT that represents that stake that you can transfer, you can sell, you can move it between clubs, you can put it in the DAO. There's going to be so much you're going to be able to do with as we go through this process. So some pretty exciting stuff coming up. We talked about our tokenomics, our contracts. We talked about our staking protocol. Everything is going to be governed by NFTs. We talked about DAO ownership versus membership. We will get into that a little bit more in this presentation because there needs to be a real clear understanding that DAO ownership and DAO membership are going to be two separate functions. And so it'll be important to understand them. And of course, as we mentioned last week, we actually were, as far as the votes and the announcements and everything else, the rewards contract was actually slated to be sunsetted on March 22nd, but we decided to go ahead and extend it to get through our first couple of presentations and the actual launch. So the building process is 100% underway, and I'm now full time. I'm an advisor, I guess you could say, with my other job, and that's just about to wind down here very, very quick. So basically this is everything. So I'm excited. I'm excited to finally be able to hang out in this capacity and start to really kind of build and grow this whole ecosystem. All right, the purpose of the DAO. Let me see if so I have, and we're going to be, I'll put this out in some articles. We've got a pretty lengthy description, if you will, behind the purpose of the DAO. I think it's very important that this is clear, that this is the first thing people understand, because it's what's going to draw them in. But pretty big deal here. We're going to be providing stakers with residual income, opportunities for residual income, and a share of the DAO profits. And we're doing this as a registered DAO in the state of Utah. And these will be legal entitlements, I guess, if you will, to our dividends, interest, and rewards. So this is a big deal. We're going to be really paving the way as a registered DAO in the United States, conforming to US law in a way that will make it possible for us to do these things in the decentralized. So, basically what Coinbase is doing, not exactly, obviously. I mean, I'm just, but Coinbase is offering that, right? They offer that. So it is possible. There's loopholes that we're jumping through. That process is underway. We do have name reservations underway. We have letters of intent filed, and we're going to be starting that process of writing our bylaws, our articles of incorporation, and so on. So we're going to start pumping out more information pretty rapidly coming up. So we'll be posting that as far as the purpose of the DAO. But one of the things that's really kind of critical and important to me is we want to simplify the process for onboarding. And we're going to have a way for people to do that that'll basically hold their hand as they come into that process. And there will be some learning that goes along with it, some education that goes along with it. And so I can't wait till we're able to get that developed out and implemented on our websites. We want to teach DeFi fundamentals, blockchain, decentralization, security, NFTs, smart contracts, and so much more. But this is all designed to empower and educate the next wave of DeFi enthusiasts. So we're looking long term here. We're not looking for getting everything pumped and hyped and excited, only to kind of fall flat because we don't have anything behind it. We actually have so much behind it. We're just trying to catch up to ourselves to get it all laid out. So pretty exciting times. So we have an official mission statement, and I was going to do this differently, but given that I'm kind of flying solo today, I'm going to pop this up so you can see it, read along with me. But this is the Axion DAO mission statement. Axion DAO exists to rewrite the story of decentralized finance and blockchain technology, not merely as a financial system, but as a vehicle for opportunity, technical innovation, and economic freedom. Born from the ashes of a rugged project and rebuilt by the community, Axion DAO stands as a living testament of resilience, transparency, and a shared vision of the future. We are more than a DAO. We are a collective of builders, believers, and boundary pushers who understand that the true value of Web3 lies not in speculation, but in empowerment. Our mission is to create an ecosystem where anyone, anywhere, can meaningfully participate in this emerging digital economy. We intend to do this by providing ownership through staking, opportunities to learn through our upcoming Axion DAO University, and our Learn and Earn programs, bringing real impact through revenue sharing, project launches, and investment clubs rooted in cooperation and transparency. The future of finance must be inclusive, not exclusive. So we will build tools, teach concepts, and open doors, giving people not just access, but understanding. In doing so, we intend to tear down the walls of confusion, intimidating processes, and misinformation, which has kept our neighbors from discovering what blockchain technology can do for them. The Axion DAO is not here to follow trends. We're here to forge new ones. With a foundation built on trust, a team guided by expertise and intuition, and a roadmap designed to get us there. We are paving the way for something far more significant than a token. We are building a legacy for collective success. This is your invitation to join not just a protocol, but a purpose. We are decentralized, we are unified, we are prepared, and we are doing DeFi better together. Axion DAO, your gateway to DeFi. Applause. Can you guys hear me? Someone throw a comment up. I'm not even sure if you guys can hear me. So I hope that has as much impact on you as you hear it as it did as we were writing that and putting that together. All right, let me see if I can get back to that other screen now. Okay. All right. So as a recap, right? So the recap of our mission statement: transparent governance, lifelong DAO membership, education, first through exceptional tools and easy onboarding. We're not here to follow trends. We're here to lead a movement. Together, we are Axion DAO. Easy peasy. We're going to touch on membership first, ownership briefly, and then we're going to get into the first big exciting campaign that we're going to be launching here. So first experiences matter. You know, when you come to a new protocol or a new project, if you have to basically employ a university level research mindset to figure out what the frick is going on and why they're doing this and why they're doing that and how come it's this way and not that way and why can't I find that frickin' button? We want to make sure that that experience is a good experience from the moment they come to our website, from the moment they click on their first link. We want to pull them in and walk them through. DAO ownership and DAO membership. So ownership, you can be a member. I mean, actually, you can be an owner of the DAO and actually not be a member. And as an owner of the DAO, you would still benefit. You'd still get the benefits or the entitlements that come with being an owner in the DAO. If you want to participate in the DAO, if you want to have a voice in the DAO, if you want to take advantage of some of the perks that we're going to be offering and some of the products and services, you'll need to be a member. So ownership is based on the amount of Axion you've staked. It grants proportional share of revenue and interest, and no action is required after you stake. You stake, so stakes are now a minimum. So when you stake for a year, you're staking for a minimum of a year. That stake will continue to grow. It'll continue to earn interest. It'll continue to give you that voting power. and that potential revenue from the profits of the DAO. You don't have to be a member to take advantage of that. However, if you want to vote, if you want to submit proposals, if you want to have access to withdrawing your interest on a monthly basis, and yes, that's going to be a thing. You will be able to withdraw your interest on a monthly basis, or you'll be able to kind of pop it back into your stake so it compounds. The membership in the DAO will be renewed annually, kind of like a dues through our membership NFTs. It's not going to be very much. It's going to be a reasonable annual fee, but we will also have ways that if you're making a new stake, that membership will be included. In fact, if you're brand new to the Axion DAO, when you go to the accelerator and or if you go to the staking protocol and you place your first stake or your first accelerator I think we'll have to stick it to accelerator, because we're managing a lot of, when you stake in the accelerator, you'll actually get several NFTs. You're going to get your membership NFT if you're not already a member. You're going to get perk NFTs, partner NFTs. You might get like your Phoenix. We're looking at bringing the Phoenix NFT concept over. And I mean, if we have 5 new partnerships that month, we might have 5 new partnership NFTs that can be minted through the accelerator. So we're really looking at building that out so that there's so much more value to participating in the accelerator than what we've traditionally had. And as we grow, as we incorporate partners, as we build some of our tools, then as a member, you will have access to those things. So, and that's really, hopefully that really clears it up. It's simple. There's DAO ownership, there's DAO membership. Ownership comes with its set of benefits. Membership comes with its set of benefits. And that will be very clearly stated and easily digestible once we get our white paper and our websites all dialed in. So this is going to be, and we're close to wrapping up, folks. So I almost don't want to go too fast, but at the same time, I'm excited that we can get this information out in a timely manner. And it'll be an easy, quick, hopefully engaging watch back. So we're launching what we call the Founders NFTs. They will consist of Crusaders. Oh, come on, James. Guardians, Sentinels, and Vanguard. The Vanguard. It's going to be the Vanguard will be the top level. We are going to be selling them and promoting them over the next 90 days as we attend various spaces with speaker opportunities, presentation opportunities with other platforms, partnerships that we're going to be re-engaging with and rolling in to the ecosystem. And so we're going to be promoting these pretty heavily. They basically, so initially these are going to be non-transferable, but once we sell out the inventory, we can put it up for a vote for the community to decide if they want to make them transferable. So this is the beauty of the DAO. As much as we're doing and as thorough as we are in everything, if someone doesn't like something or if someone sees a better way and they make a proposal and we like that proposal and the community likes that proposal will move on to be voted on. And if that proposal says, you know, I want to be able to sell my my founders NFTs and the community approves, guess what? We will change that. We will make them sellable, transferable. So the Crusaders it's going to cost $100. It will come with some benefits, 2% accelerator bonus. It will multiply your vote weight by 1.5. And when we launch on base, you'll be able to go in and claim $50 worth of AXND tokens. So really, the NFT is going to cost you $50. You're going to get $50 of Axion on launch day. Okay. And there's some psychology here that I'll get into just as soon as we kind of get through this. And you are now a lifetime member of the DAO. You will never have to do the renewal fees. Okay. So for life, you are a member of the DAO. We're going to be doing some giveaway campaigns. We're going to be some marketing campaigns. And hopefully by December, we're going to have a really fun giveaway package based on these NFTs and as we approach our 5-year anniversary. This is like 5 years. So then the next level is the Guardians. Those are $200. There's a max min on each of these. That will multiply your vote power by 2, and you'll be able to go in and claim $100 worth of Axion on day 1. So half again the cost of that NFT. And each of these does come with other perks and other access that we need to develop as we create these partnerships, as we create all of these different products and services. Each level will get its own kind of access or special access to different things. The Sentinels are going to be $300. They become with a 4% bonus. They multiply your vote by 2.5, and you'll be able to claim $150 worth of Axion. So whatever, we're basically going to be setting half of the funds aside into a purchasing contract where on day 1, when we launch, anyone who owns these founders NFTs will be able to go in and claim their Axion, their new Axion DAO. Vanguards, in order to have a Vanguard, you have to actually have all 3 of the lower tiered NFTs. And they will cost $100, but when we launch on day 1, you will be able to go in and claim $100 of Axion. So really, we were going to do it entirely free, but I thought, you know what? We owe it to our members to bring value to this project and to our ecosystem. And so, the days of haphazardly or lackadaisically giving things away, we need to take a closer look at that. So if we sell out this entire collection on day 1, there will be $200,000 in buys triggered by people activating their founders NFTs. And so this whole project, this whole concept is intended to be to do nothing but contribute buy pressure when we launch the Axion token. So who wants to see what these might look like? All right. So these are our Crusaders. We're going to be adding to this collection. So for the first month, we have these 2 collections. At the end of the month, we might add a new collection or 2 more collections. I'm not sure yet. But we went with 2 very distinct themes. We've got the Defenders of the Future, but we've also got that the core values of what the Crusaders and the Guardians and the Sentinels and the Vanguards did, throughout history in building nations and building empires, which we want Axion DAO. Yeah, I'm not going to use the word empire, but we do want to be a vast civilization. So these are going to be our Crusaders. These are the Guardians. And by the way, I'm going to be showing you videos of each of these because they are all animated. These are the Sentinels. And this is the Vanguard. So Let's see if I can pop these up so we can watch them. Okay, it's right here. Yeah, okay. So here are the Crusaders. This is okay, that was, there we go. It had already started playing. And these are the other Crusaders. And this, of course, are our Guardians. Playing. Yeah. I love this one. It's one of my favorites, along with, actually, this was one of my favorites with this. I just think that is so epic. All right. These are the Sentinels. This is our Sentinel from the other collection. And these are our Vanguards. Oops. Come on. There we go. And last but not least, oh, come on. This is the Vanguard. And like I said, we're going to be adding to these collections as we go forward. I can find the right. Oh no, what the heck? All right, oh, there it is. What the heck? All right, okay. I couldn't find my control panel. All right, so let's go back. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when you're all by yourself, but that's okay. All right. So, yeah, there you have it. So the founders NFTs, we should have the page up here within the week, I hope, to where we can start promoting and offering these NFTs for our members. And we'll have all of the descriptions and the intent and the purposes all dialed in for you. So any feedback, any comments, throw them up. Any questions based on this? I'm going to have a little time here. We're 30 minutes into this. I have a couple more slides and that's it. So if you have any questions, we are kind of a small crowd today, but I know people are going to come back and watch this. So I always want to have the energy as if we have 1,000 people in the room, because one day we will, and I don't want to freak out. So, all right, let's see here. Sorry, I forgot to change this slide. That's okay, I'll change it. So this is our marketing and promotion. So we really are down to our last couple of slides. So we do have a very broad and deeply rooted marketing and psychology campaign that's going to go into all of this. For those of you, I'm going to be putting up like a little resume. A lot of people don't know my professional history. And so I want to get that out there. But I actually, out of high school, so 40-ish years ago, guys, I went to school for radio broadcasting, marketing, and sales. So right out of high school, I went to school to learn radio broadcasting, marketing, sales, promotions, event management. And that's what I did for quite a long time. I came back to it later in life. I was a contractor at one time because I enjoyed it. And I have built and sold several businesses. So I've got a lot of experience in business management, and then I got into public relations, PR work, content marketing. Went on to become the editor of the Southern Utah Independent, and then we're here. And I've got several other publications that I've built and sold, and so we're going to actually be looking at incorporating some of that experience right into the Axion DAO. One of the I'm going to give a teaser here, since it's just the what, 7 of us. We're going to be building a news aggregator for DeFi. So we're going to pull in all of the news sites from all around into one aggregator, so that you can pretty much go through all the news related to DeFi that's pertinent and valuable. We'll be able to. I don't know that we're going to have an app on your phone yet, but I would love to have an app on your phone. And so another way to reach other potential members of the DAO. Okay. So I'm going to be doing a lot of media outreach. I know 3 writers at Forbes. One is a dear friend. And here's the thing. I'm not going to be that guy that's out there, paying people 10 grand to talk about us. If you don't think we're like amazing and important enough to be talking about on your programs, then you're not paying attention. So we're not going to be paying a bunch of KOLs or influencers. We're going to be reaching out to them. We're going to be working with them. We're going to have ways that it can be mutually beneficial for them as much as it is for us. And so we're going to be building those relationships. I am documenting this process. And that that bullet point underneath it, I forgot to delete it. So we're going to be documenting the process. I am compiling this so that we can put everything together into a work, which is writer lingo for book. So yes, we are compiling everything and documenting everything. We're going to be telling the story of the Axion DAO, and we're going to be educating people on simplifying DeFi. And yes, that's going to be a book you can purchase on Amazon. And of course, hey, who knows? New York Times bestseller list. Here we come. We're going to be rolling out a more robust community partners program. I just mentioned the news aggregator. I actually put it in here. I didn't think I put it in here. So we are going to be doing the news aggregator. I'll be attending a lot of X Spaces. I've got speaker opportunities lined up, and there's a lot more coming on. So, and next week, same time, same channel, we're going to have part 3, because there's still actually stuff that I haven't been able to cover. And I want to make these short and sweet. I want people to be able to digest them and be able to take a break. So the foundation is set, guys. We're ready to roll. Next week, we're going to be talking about, more in depth about our community partners program, our investment clubs, how that breaks down, and additional revenue stream opportunities. And we'll be talking more about the story Axion DAO will be remembered for. We are forging a path for others to follow. And that, my friends, concludes today's live stream. The 90-day countdown has started. You can go to AxionDAO.com and you can see the countdown. And I'd like to say that within a couple of weeks, we actually might be launching the website. So a lot of good things coming, a lot of stuff happening in the background. very little sleep, but we are getting there and we're excited. So I see P. Scully. Hey, P. Scully. Hey, Shane, bro. So good to see you, man. Definitely want to catch up. And it doesn't look like anybody has any questions. So, um, yeah, I guess I'm going to give it like 10. I'm going to give you that 10 seconds of awkward silence, and maybe someone will punch in a question, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's good. I'd like to think that that we're going to be so thorough that at some point there's not going to be the need for any questions because we will have answered them before they were even asked. I actually learned this process a long time ago. If you can basically teach people all the things they didn't know they want to know, and if you can answer all the questions they didn't know they had before they have the questions, those are connections and community members that will be locked in for life, and that's what we want. We do have some very huge revenue generating concepts that we are going to be incorporating into the DAO, that will potentially bring huge returns. So if you are a member of the DAO, and as these huge return, if you're a member of the DAO and there's only like 200 people in the DAO, and we're bringing in the returns that we expect, you're going to be happy. And so I can't wait to roll these things out and to open these concepts up for everybody to take a look at. Yes, Jeff. So any stakes that are 5 years and older from the day that you claim, from the day of our snapshot, any stakes that are 5 years and older will be combined into one large 5-year stake. You will then, if you are a member of the DAO, will be able to withdraw your interest on that stake after 30 days. But here is the biggest kicker, Jeff. Here's the biggest kicker. You're going to be claiming your stakes as if they've matured to that 15-year mark. So you're going to get everything you would have got had that 15-year stake been kept all the way through its maturity, but you're going to get it dropped in your lap as one big 5-year stake, and you're going to be able to withdraw your interest on a monthly basis. So kind of think that's a big deal, to be honest. I mean, we discussed that several times. We had, I wouldn't say heated conversations, but maybe a little, simply because this is like I said earlier, this is more about the token. This is more about just tokenomics. This is about building a system that makes sense, that has true value, that is full of opportunities, not restrictions. That's the goal. So yeah, let's see. Nice. And the NFTs give you membership. So everyone, so basically when you stake your first stake on base, your membership for the first year is included. Okay. So we're not going to make people go do this and then they have to go do that. And then after that, they got to do this. And if they want this, they got to, we're not going to do that. So, so when you actually claim your portfolio from Polygon onto Base, you're a first time staker. So first time stakers on Base, whether it's on launch day or a year from now, if you're coming to Axion and you're placing your first stake, that gives you ownership in the DAO and membership in the DAO. After a year, you'll have to renew your membership. That's it. So that you don't have to worry about it for a year. If you come back a year and 2 months later and you can't withdraw your interest, then all you have to do is purchase a membership, a new membership NFT, renew your dues, however we're going to word that at the very end once we're finalized. Then you'll be able to withdraw your interest again. And you don't have to worry about that stake expiring. You can let it ride. You can withdraw it in parts, pieces, once it has reached its minimum age length. So, what if you have more than one account with 555 stakes? So, yeah, that's a great question. That's a really great question, because you're going to be able to, when you claim your stakes, you're going to be able to send them to a new wallet. Okay. And one of the things that I'm working on is if you had a compromised wallet on Polygon, but you can access your wallet on Base to sign, just a signature. You don't have to put any money in. We're going to put a little bit of money in an account so that when you go in and claim your stakes and you're moving them to a new wallet, the gas will be paid for. So you don't have to worry about putting money in your compromised Base wallet only to be rugged for that ETH and bring attention to the fact that you're using that wallet. So you'll be able to go in, do your claim, put in a wallet address that you want your stakes to be sent to, and then and the contract will pay the gas and move your stakes to that wallet. So hopefully, as we get people coming back and saying, yeah, man, I wish my wallet hadn't been compromised, 10 people in Discord can hop in and say, no, bro, we got you covered. Here's what you do. And if they haven't been, so if that person never realized those stakes existed, and they were never touched and they're still sitting there, guess what? You'll be able to go in and claim them. So if you have a new wallet, then all of these different wallets that you used in the past, you can just send everything to one wallet and have one master wallet. Stakes that here, let me put this one up. So I'm gonna put these up so you guys can see actually what the question is. Okay, stakes that are finished a year from now goes accumulated with my liquid axion. I get. Okay, yeah. So if a stake expires anytime between today or 90 days from date, if your stake expires anytime between the day of the snapshot and 1 year out, those will all be combined and dropped just like a liquid stake. So you will be getting 12%. So basically any stakes that are under a year, because in the DAO, stakes will be for 1 year minimum. And there's a reason behind that. One of our goals is to provide economic opportunities and freedom. In the United States, if you own something like a token or a stock or a bond and it matures in less than a year, it's a 35% income tax. If that investment has matured past 1 year, it's only a 10% income, 10%, what do they call it? Anyway, so it's only a 10% tax. So in that respect, we want to make sure, and they're going to be so much easier to track and keep track of. We'll actually, we're going to have so many. My goal is to have so many data points that, again, you don't need to ask some of these questions in the future. It'll all be right there in front of you, and everybody will get it. It will be very. We're going to simplify as much as we humanly possibly can. We'll let all the complicated stuff happen in the background, but when you come and what you see, we want it to make sense. We want it to be simple. We don't want it to be intimidating, and we don't want people going, maybe I'll look at that later tonight, and then later tonight just never comes. So, all right. Thanks, Jeff. Let's see. So to get a Vanguard NFT, it'll be $700, but you get, is it $300? Yes, $400. So yes, on launch day, you'll be able to claim $400 in Axie and D. So really, the entire collection is going to cost $300. And again, like I said, if we sell this entire collection out on launch day, it'll be over $200,000 in buy power and buying pressure, and very little sell pressure, guys. I mean, we're looking to manage this token like no one has before. People may have attempted, and people, and this is not to say that people have done it wrong or people don't know what they're doing or they got, they just couldn't figure it out. Having only been in DeFi now for just about 5 years myself, having come in with zero understanding and zero knowledge, and being just the tenacious person I am, I dug in, I learned, but I've researched so many DeFi projects now. And anybody that knows me knows that when it comes to researching a project, that means I've read their documents at least 3 or 4 times at minimum. And so, and I have a good memory when it comes to that kind of stuff. So this really is a culmination of all of that experience, all of that knowledge, all of that insight. So that's the goal. We want to make this, we want to have so much value in this and so many opportunities in this that are real, that are based in reality, not in hype and conjecture and hopeful feelings. We want these opportunities to be legitimate. I've actually participated in registered fundraising in the past. I've participated in incubators. I helped run an incubator. I've taught workshops on business development, on marketing, on promotions, on one of my favorite. I used to do 2 different workshops. One was for relationship arrogance, and now I lost my train of thought. Maybe it's because it's not important for the. So one of the workshops I used to teach is called relationship arrogance, and that is a lot of times people go into a room, they scan the crowd, and they look for the biggest, fattest, yummiest, warmest, juiciest target, and they think that by going to that person, they have a better chance of success. When actually, the gal sitting over at the table with no one with her, just kind of watching everybody, is probably the most intelligent person in that room, and has probably the biggest opportunities that we could access. And so I don't do that. I walk into a door, and the person sitting behind the counter, to me, is the CEO of that company in that moment. And that's how I treat them. And that's how they should be treated. You treat the person at the front desk like they're the CEO, and guess what? They're going to be an advocate for you. You're going to be important to them too. So anyway, I've spent a lot of time researching the psychology of relationships and marketing and everything else. Not to take advantage of them like many do, right? Sorry, they do. But to truly, genuinely build connections. And because at the end of the day, I want to feel good. I want to be happy. I want to be excited. And I want to feel like, I deserve anything that might come my way. Okay, I'm going to keep going through these. These are good questions, guys. So if you have 5 different stake accounts with Axie and stakes, I can send everything to a new base address. Yes. It could be brand new, untraceable. The only caveat is, guys, we are going to have a whitelisting process. I don't know if you recall this. If you remember this, the last 3 launches we did, you had to KYC your Ethereum address to you as a legitimate, real, valid human being. So we are going to have that, because in the US, we're offering financial rewards, interest, revenue sharing. So as long as you go through that process, We promise it will be painless and simple, secure. We may go through a third party. I'm not sure yet. Deli and I have been talking about building our own system for this. But we're looking at being a very large scale, legitimate US based company. We have to know our customers. So, but that is proprietary. That is not something that will ever be made public. In fact, I'm willing to say I'll go to jail if that information is made public. The only way that anyone will ever be able to get to that information is through a subpoena from a judge in the United States, in the jurisdiction that we reside in. So hopefully that eases that. But yes, we are going to have a whitelisting process. If you don't want to go through that, then you can claim the bulk claim. And in the bulk claim, there's going to be a percentage haircut. We're thinking 38%. Right now, if you were to claim your 5-year or your 15-year stakes, you would lose like 75% or 80% of it or something ridiculous. So there will be a small 38% haircut. We'll combine every stake you have on the planet into that airdrop, and you'll be able to claim it 12% on day one, 8% a month for the rest of the year, and you can actually exit all your stakes if you so choose. You do not have to whitelist for that, and you don't have to do it on day one. So if you want to scratch your head and to decide, hey, do I want to do this? There's going to be no sense of urgency, because whether you claim your stakes on day one or 1 year from now or 5 years from now, the same mechanics will apply. So, if you want to just sit back and see how it goes, you'll be able to just sit back and see how it goes. You can give yourself some time to decide if you want to do a bulk claim or if you want to go through the whitelisting process. Our goal is to make sure that the whitelisting process is user friendly, it's not intimidating, and the data that you share is protected. So, let's see here. Are you using BTC reward to put an initial pool? Oh, yes, we are. In fact, so we're not going to overload the liquidity, but we will have probably, it's so awesome to say this, guys. We'll easily have $250,000 in liquidity, or the ability to load that much. We are most likely going to start with a lower liquidity and build that liquidity up over time. We'll be using our reserve base and our liquidity, the funds that we've set aside for liquidity. We will be using that in a very pragmatic way. We are going to be Uniswap v4, I think, actually. And so you'll be able to participate in one-sided liquidity. And we're going to teach people how to actually leverage one-sided liquidity to where you can exit any token through one-sided liquidity without impacting the price of the token. And so, it does obviously impact the price of the token, but it's not like this big, huge dump on the market, and you actually can get more value out of it. So we are going to be going through that as well. I anticipate we're going to be opening up with anywhere from about $130,000 to $150,000 in liquidity. So it's still going to be respectable compared to the $30,000 we're sitting at right now. So, and then, but we will have the ability to go as high as $400,000, and that's actually like legit. So, but we want to be pragmatic, and we want to gauge it and to use it. We want to be able to, as the token value goes up, we can put in stop gaps, and strengthen it as it reaches certain levels. So that will be the goal. If I don't want to be in the DAO club, which are my alternatives with my stakes on base? So I don't know if you're talking about DAO ownership or DAO membership. If you don't want to be an owner, then it's going to be the bulk claim. That's going to be your option. if um, but you if you don't want to be a member of the DAO, obviously your first if you do claim your stakes through the group claim, then you'll automatically be a member for a year. So um, I'm hoping you're asking me that as devil's advocate, but we get it. I mean, some people don't want to dox. They don't want their information out there, even though they give their information to CoinDesk, to Coinbase. They give their information to Google Docs and Google Sheets. And I mean, how many things do we do on an everyday basis that we're swiping a credit card, we're entering our name, and we're gaining access to that product or service? They're going to be no different. And we will be protecting that data. Yeah, hope that answers that. Let's see. Is true the negotiations to list AXND on Coinbase? We're not pursuing it. Actually, I've learned a lot about that, and wouldn't it be awesome? Yes, I am researching that, and we are going to go through an application process. I'll leave it at that. Okay. What if I have like 20 NFT Galaxy stakes over 5 years from now? It will be combined into one single stake, like a regular Axion stake. So all stakes will be represented by, so what it will probably still have Galaxy stakes. I'm actually thinking of renaming them to Nebula stakes or Quantum stakes or something like that. I don't know. We can probably have a vote and decide what we want to name them. But the Galaxy stake concept will still thriving. In fact, it'll work. It'll actually work, because right now the Galaxy stake on Polygon is broken. I don't know if you know that. Everything's fine. The data's fine and everything, but OpenSea locked those up a long time ago. You can't transfer them. You can't sell them. And that's because of an exploit that we weren't a part of, but we did use the service, not the code that was exploited, but because we were loosely associated with the OpenZilla or whatever, I can't remember what it was called. They locked the contract on us some time ago. So, but the idea is that you can sell your stake. Or transfer it to a different wallet. But here's the caveat: you can sell it if the person has whitelisted, and you can transfer it if that Ethereum address is a whitelisted Ethereum address. And again, we're going to make that process simple. People are going to come in, they're going to join, they're going to KYC, and they might then they will be looking for stakes that might be up for sale. Because one of the other things we want to do in the dApp, in the back end on your dashboard, is make it possible for you to swap any NFT from any collection with someone else. So like a trade, you put it in, they put it in, you confirm that they're both in there, and they're automatically transferred back and forth. So you can actually trade without any fees, without any loss. And then we actually might make it so they can be purchased too. But again, these are all things that are on the drawing board. They're on the table, and these are things that we're going to be pursuing. Again, we can't say we're doing DeFi better if we're not actually doing DeFi better. So that's the goal. If my mature Axion stakes say that I have 45 million Axion to withdraw, my new Axion stake will give me a mature date at least 10,000. It's either 10,000 or 100,000. I don't have a calculator in my brain right now. If you don't do so, yes, so the stakes are combined. We get a total. We do the 4,500 to 1 reverse split, and that's what you get dropped. When we relaunch on base, we're looking at equal value at this point. Now there is some discussion on either kicking it off at a lower rate or even a higher rate. But we will have if we're still kind of tied to this concept and the psychology for it, then we will put that up for a vote in the Dow. So and it'll be yes or no. Do we do it or do we not do it? Or do we do it at this rate or that rate? So but the idea is when we relaunch on base, the value will still retain that value that it was sitting at before we moved over. Okay. I'm not even reading these ahead of time, so don't say anything bad. What information is needed to whitelist? That's a great question. We're going over that right now. What we need to find out is what we're legally required to have. So whatever we are legally required to have by U.S. law, by state law, is what we will be asking for. We're not going to break it down any further than that. So no different than when you set up, like a Coinbase account. You have to send them a copy of some kind of a document proving who you are, a selfie, maybe holding up a sign saying Axie and Dow, all of these things, and then they will just they'll be stored in a secure database, and because ultimately, anytime a company in the United States pays out, so if you own Apple stock, number one, you have a broker that you've KYC'd to. You cannot buy stocks if you're not KYC'd to a broker. That broker records how much of the Apple stock you have. And if Apple sends out a dividend, they pass your portion along to you. You have to be KYC'd to do that. So it'll be basically the same thing. But exactly what that process looks like, and just so you know, we are researching third parties. If we need to bring in a third party that has shown exceptionalism in how they manage their system, and if we can have access to that data after the fact, so that we know, who we are sending money to, then we'll look at that pretty hard. Yep, July 10th is right now is July 10th is what we're looking at as our 90-day relaunch. Withdraw, so monthly withdrawal. So once your stake is 30 days or older, it'll show up as claimable on your dashboard, and you'll simply claim it, and it'll be dropped right into your wallet as liquid. Boom, done. That's it. Simple. And then that clock resets. So every time you withdraw, it resets. And then 30 days after that, you will be able. So if you wait 2 months and you withdraw, then you'll still have to wait another 30 days before you can withdraw again. So it's a clock that'll basically keep track of the last time you withdrew your interest. And it's based on your principal. Your principal never changes. That's the beauty of this, is your principal never changes, and your vote is based on your principal. So if you choose to compound that interest into your stake, then your voting power increases, and you're compounding your interest. You actually now are earning interest on top of your interest. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you'll see it on your dashboard. It'll say claim. You can claim it. Or it'll be on your dashboard and it'll say, claim in 10 days or something. Those are some of the idiosyncrasies we're going to work out, but most likely that button will say claim. It'll be a countdown to the next time you can claim. Okay. Okay. Well, we're getting to the end. When will be available new website? Hopefully within a few weeks. I don't want to within a month. I hope sooner. I expect sooner, but I would expect definitely within a month. And you'll start to see some of the development of our DApp once we have the NFTs ready to buy. So once we're ready to sell these NFTs, we'll actually be doing it from our DApp. You'll just you'll just only be able to see that one page. We're not going to show the whole thing. Because we're pretty far along on almost everything. So my goal is to be done with everything, have it all test netted, have it all organized no less than 30 days before launch. So we're talking 60 days from now. So there's a lot of work to be done. The nice thing is I get to spend every day, all day, just focused on this. I don't have any more large distractions, and everything else is manageable. So we're going to be doing some really kind of cool things, and we'll be able to start putting stuff out, information, everything out on a regular basis. So, thank you. Let's see, one last one here. Should I withdraw every month or get penalty or accumulative? No, there's no penalty. That's the thing. We've done away with penalties, guys. So there's no, so if you set up a stake and it's a 1 year minimum, yes, there's going to be a penalty if you withdraw early. It'll be nowhere near the extreme nature of our current penalty process. It will be much lower. It will still bite. Okay. It'll still bite. But as that stake gets closer and closer to its minimum set length, so too will that penalty. So if something happens and you're 2 months away from the stake maturing, but life happens and you need access to some funds, it might. Don't quote me on this because I don't know how the scale is going to slide, but it could be as low as maybe a 10 to 15% max penalty for early withdrawal. So, but if you withdraw 2 days after you place that stake, it might be as high as 46%, 48%, but nowhere near the like 95% that it is today. If you make a stake today in the accelerator and you try to withdraw it tomorrow, you're going to lose over 90% of that stake. So why not 555 stakes anymore? We don't need that. We don't need, that was a bygone era, guys. And I don't mean to diminish the intent or the pursuit or the hope that, was in that. But we've already kind of seen that we've lost, I think we've lost more momentum because of the 555 stakes than any value we've gained, because you basically got people. I mean, look, over 50% of our ecosystem is currently locked up in 5555 stakes. That means that all those people, we're not top of mind. They're going to think about us in 10 years. They're gone. We want a reason to bring them back. We want them to feel like, wow, so I was thinking it was going to be another 11 years before I could get before I could even access what value might be left. And now I have that opportunity in 5 years, and I can withdraw my interest on a monthly basis. And it's at the matured value of what that stake would have been at maturity. The psychology and concept between 5555, while it was fun and great at the time, and I bought into it. I mean, I've got half a dozen 15-year stakes. And so, but also, let's just say you have, and we're going to be marketing this as well. So if you have stakes that, what is it? What I'm thinking. If you have stakes that expired and there's going to be a massive penalty on it, right now on Polygon, you can restake for 15 years and you get no penalty. So if you went into all those expired stakes and you set them to 15 years, you'll know that when we relaunch on base, it'll actually be 5 years, and you'll start be able to withdraw your interest again. So, I mean, so there's a lot of reasons why we wanted to do away with that. Sounds good. And we exceeded an hour, which is okay because we got the most of the information out in the half an hour. So I've actually I've enjoyed this, and I've appreciated these questions because um, we're going to take every time I get a question, especially in a ticket that involves like a more in-depth answer, I actually answer it, I copy and paste it into our roadmap. Um, like I said, questions are critical because questions kind of force us to think outside of what we think people want to know or how they want to know it. Um, and so, so I appreciate these questions. In fact, we might even leading up to next week, uh, we'll start promoting our AMA question thread again, and because we are gonna, so we'll have and I'll tell you, for probably at least the next two, 3, even maybe 4 weeks, I'll probably be doing one of these live streams once a week. Um, and gosh, I mean, depending on how things happen, I would love to be able to do this every week. Just a weekly recap of what's been done, what we're doing, progress, people we're talking to. Maybe we'll throw out introductions that we're looking for, and maybe someone in our community knows someone who knows someone and can help make that introduction. So those are the things we're going to be doing as we move forward. Penalty at most per account will be 500 USDC or per members. That's, I don't know what that means. I apologize. I don't understand. I actually don't understand the question. I'm not sure what you're reading to get that number. Yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that. Yep, for sure, for sure. Yeah, we're going to be doing more. Let's see. Again, I still don't understand. There's no penalty. So if 5 years from now, let's paint this magical picture. If 5 years from now the Axion token is trading at like a couple bucks, because at our current tokenomics, that's not it won't be unheard of, guys. I'm sorry, it won't be. Let's just say 5 years from now, the Axion D token is sitting around $1.47 or something, and someone wakes up and goes, is that the same Axion that was here, and the Hex 2T and the this? That also reminds me, I want to build a dashboard that you can punch in your wallet address and you can see all through the migration from if you were one of the original Hex 2 tiers and you walked away and never came back or something, you'll be able to punch in your address and see that process. And then I can't tell you how many people come in and open a ticket wondering where their Axion tokens are, only for us to go in and do some research and see that they sold them, and we point it out, and they don't, and then they never ask any more questions. That's crazy. So we want to have a process that you can actually just punch in your address and see what that tree, what that process looked like, because it's all on the blockchain. But if you wait 5 years and now the Axion token is $1.47 and you have 157,000 tokens that you can claim, yes, there's going to be a fee, a $500 fee to claim those tokens. If your portfolio is not valued at least a couple grand, especially if your portfolio is valued at under that $500, you'll be able to request a waiver. And so the council will look at it. If you're entitled to a waiver, then we'll waive the fee. And yeah, that's not a fee that's going to So I'm not sure. Let's see. Where are we at? Will there be a max supply cap of tokens? 250 million. I don't mean to say this in the wrong way. I love you, bro, but it's all out there. Just I can't tell you how important it is to watch the last couple of live streams. All of these pitch decks are going to be available for people to look at and to review. But yeah, so the max token cap is 250 million tokens. Yeah, I'm still not. Yeah, there's no airdrop you have to claim, but there's no cost to claim. So for the first 6 months, you can claim tokens with no fee, period. No airdrop, correct. You will have to claim it on the dashboard, on their official website. Absolutely. Here's the psychology behind this, guys. So let's just say, so I'm of the opinion that in 5 years, we will maybe have 35% of the existing circulation, the existing stakes and everything claimed. I think so many people that we've got lost wallets, we've got lost seed phrases, we've got compromised wallets, we've got people who have sworn to never come back to DeFi. There's so many things out there. We looked at the data, and we looked at the data, and nearly 60% of the addresses that are staked in the Axiom DAO haven't had activity on chain for close to 2 years. That's a big deal. So that's taken into account. That's the reason we're doing the claim process, because if they are never claimed, they will never be in circulation. And at some point, we may be able to say our new market cap is 200 million Axiom. So, after 5 years, that's what we would be looking at, is how much has been claimed. And on the dashboard, we're going to have a stat board. So you'll be able to see how much can be claimed and how much has been claimed and how many people have gone through the claim process. Those are all key data points. We're going to have key data points everywhere so that you can see exactly, how the economics are unfolding as we go forward. They won't do you any good now. They're still back over there, but they will have nothing to do with the new timestamp or the new snapshot. Good. Yes, you can still use the accelerator. The rewards are paused, so you're not going to see rewards on there anymore. And we're not changing any of our contracts. So what little use there might be between now and the next 90 days is still going to slowly accumulate, but that will become part of that pool that we move on to base, and it will be used to shore up and build out our ecosystem. Yeah, nostalgia. I get you, Shane. So yeah, so no, you can do that, but there really won't be any tremendous benefit, well, except for the fact that we will be snapshotting at the end maturity rate. There's a thought for you. There's a gamification if I ever heard one. So yeah, you could. So the percentage so a 1 year stake will only get 4% interest. A 2 year stake will get 5% interest. 3 year 6%. 4 year 7%. 5 year 8%. So to get the original 8% interest, yes, your stake has to be for 5 years or more. But again, you have access to that on a monthly basis. So that's an interesting question, Jeff, because it makes me want to, yeah, I mean, I almost want to go in and push all my stakes now to 5555. Thanks for saying that, because really, so it will be your airdrop once you make your claim will be based on the full mature value of your stakes. I'll leave it at that. What means to be registration on Utah State? It will be for launching on base. We're in the process of doing that. I don't know that the actual documents will be filed and processed by the state of Utah. Part of this process is because we are a DAO and we're being recognized as a DAO. They need to see that it's actually launched, that it's being, that it's being done, and they will be reviewing our contracts as well. So the state of Utah will be reviewing our contracts. The reason we're registering is we have bills that we need to pay, and we need to pay them under the Axion DAO name. There's stuff that happens IRL that you can't access if you don't have a legal entity. What's the beauty of this legislation is while it in some respects it centralizes us, what it really does is it acknowledges our right to exist decentralized and still interact with the world. So, we're a legally recognized DAO. This is the DAO Act for Utah legislation. So, and Utah was the fourth state to enact a DAO regulation. The thing is, the Utah DAO legislation is singular in that it stands alone, whereas the other three states basically took an LLC and wrapped it and called it a DAO with a few little tweaks. It's not recognizing DAOs and self-custody and peer-to-peer transactions and staking like the legislation is here in Utah. So it's perfect for what we want to do. Is big payday formula gone forever? Well, there's only one big payday left, guys, and it's already calculated into your stake. So you will get your big payday. Yeah. So what you are saying is, yes. What I'm saying is, it's going to be better. I can't imagine if you're really invested in understanding how the DAO will work, understanding how investment clubs will work, and that as a member of the investment club, your club will have access to product launches, to registered fundraisers in the United States, to actually ownership you will actually be entitled to ownership of other projects through the club as an early adopter, and we're going to be able to we're going to be able to access registered fundraisers. We are going to lay the groundwork for all crypto in the future. We hope so. That's the goal. We just want to do it right, guys. We got one shot. We recognize we have one shot to get it right. So we're not going to fuck it up. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and call it a day. What we really need right now is community engagement. We need to have more people showing up on Discord. We are going to come up with a support tool that'll be on the website so that people Grandma's not going to want to be on Discord. Uncle Joe's not going to want to be on Discord. My next door neighbor, he might not like. He's like, why the hell do I have to be on Discord? We're going to make it possible on our website for members to communicate, engage, get information and participate in everything that's happening. So it's time to improve and take advantage of Trump regulations. Yeah, actually, so this all was in place long before Trump. So one of my hopes is that as we develop this, that this is an example that we can take to the federal level and say, this is what it should look like. This is how it can be done. We're not going to tell them that this is how it should be done, but we're going to show them this is how it could be done. I do intend to work with our attorney and our legislators here in Utah to develop even more deeper meaning legislation that extends way beyond anything people are thinking about today. And Axie and Dow will be the torchbearer for that information, for that legislation. And so, yeah, we're going to be doing a few things. Let's just say that we're going to be doing a few things. All right. Well, guys, hey, thanks for hanging out with me for so long and for sticking here and for the questions. I'm excited, guys. I'm going to go ahead and play our outro because Axion Studios, for all intents and purposes, still exists. So I will. I'm getting back to work, guys. Hey, man, I'm going to play our outro. Let me get it queued up, and it's right there. So thank you for hanging out with me. Be sure to help me get the word out. People need to be watching these and listening to these, reading our articles, hanging out on Discord, whatever it takes to really kind of get an idea of what we're doing. Because I know once people really get their minds and their heads wrapped around all of the psychology and the opportunities that we're going to be and the doors that we're going to be opening, I know that there's going to be that point where that people are going to want to be a part of it just to be a part of it, because we are going to do things. We're going to do things. Guys, have a good week. Have a good weekend. I do have my space tomorrow on X. I'll post an invite to that on Discord, and come hang out with us. We have fun. It's a good time. In the meantime, guys, have a good week, and appreciate you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Cheers.